Without writing down these 3 song memorization components, you might struggle to learn music by ear quickly, and preparing for even a small gig will be slow and stressful. But hey, I'll show you exactly how to execute this simple 3-step process so that you'll be learning songs quickly by ear and without fear. You can do this. Hey, welcome to The Non-Glamorous Drummer. I'm so glad you're hanging out today. I help drummers like you become the musicians who sound musical and awesome playing songs, and who people want to have in their band, who sound awesome playing with a band. And we do this by teaching you the core drumming skills that get you results faster. And hey, speaking of, I've got a free PDF resource for you that I want you to grab after today's lesson that's going to help you go deeper with what we're talking about today. I want you to learn the unique 5-step method that teaches you any pop song by ear in 60 minutes. Basically, this will take you a little bit further with what we're actually talking about in this lesson. So go and download my free PDF guide. It's called 5 Steps to Learning Any Song in Under an Hour. Today we're talking about the 3 first things that you want to write down in order to just get the big picture of a song and just feel way more confident going into this. But you'll get even more detail, and you'll get those next steps of what to do next in that free guide. So go grab it. Total no-brainer. It's in the description below. All right, on with today's lesson. Some of you are going to relate to this story. I remember this was a Saturday night in August of 2009. I was starting my junior year of high school, and I had just been asked to play with the student worship band, the high school worship band at my church. I had never played with people before. I'd been taking drum lessons for like maybe 3 months. I felt totally inadequate, totally unprepared, and I'm sitting there Saturday night. It's like Saturday night, 9 p.m., and I've just gotten the songs that we're going to play tomorrow morning. And I'm sitting there like, what do I do? I can go practice these. I can play the drum parts. They're simple. These are basic songs, nothing difficult. But how do I make sure I know the song? How do I go into this feeling confident that I know the song? That was the disconnect. That was the struggle. And that was what I knew I had to figure out how to do. Now, I ended up figuring out something and kind of landing on somewhat of a rough system that night. And really, that's a lot of what I'm going to share with you today. So I'll tell you a little more about how that Sunday went. But let's break down this whole method. So this is a 3-step method, just 3 things to write down on a piece of paper that will help you just understand the big picture of the song and understand the basics of it so that you can feel confident going into a playing situation. And I'm going to be sharing with you some screen stuff on my iPad here in a minute. We're going to be talking about, specifically, as an example, I'm going to be using Rock With You by Michael Jackson. No, that was not one of the 3 songs I played in church that Sunday. Rock With You by Michael Jackson is going to be our example song that I want you to listen to and be thinking about as we're talking about this stuff, because you probably know the song, and many of you who were alive then are familiar with the song. Came out in 1979, but it also has a very predictable form, as you're going to find out. So we'll be digging into that. Let's dive in. Let's get going here. Okay, what is the most important thing to know about a song that you're playing? Let's talk big picture, super simple stuff. What is the most important thing? What should be your step 1? Well, you can feel so much more confident in the song, whatever the song is, by knowing the roadmap. If you know the roadmap, the basic form, the sequence of the song, the basic arrangement, you're going to feel way more confident. Now, the tricky thing here, and a lot of times what will trip up new drummers, new musicians, is they're not sure how to label the sections. Like, wait, what is this part called? Oh no, I can't figure out what this part's called. It's all over, it's hopeless. And so we end up giving up easily on certain songs rather than just, figuring it out and trying to keep things simple. And so what we can do to remedy this is understand common song forms and then learn to listen for them in your favorite songs. So let's talk about Rock With You. So check this out right here. On my chart, this is just a basic, you're basically seeing the step-by-step of how I might write a chart for Rock With You by Michael Jackson. And what I've done here on the far left, because the way we want to do these shorthand cheat sheet charts that basically give us confidence, they're our safety net, we want to start with the most high-level important details, really not details, high-level big picture stuff on the far left. And so on this far left, we've just got the essentials: intro, verse, chorus, bridge, jam, chorus. And we've got this little section here that we're going to talk about called, let me pick a color I want here, the pre-chorus. I just wrote pre. A lot of songs have a section between the verse and the chorus, and it's like a connecting piece that in this case we're calling the pre-chorus. And so sometimes when there's a section of a song and you don't know how to label it, sometimes it's as simple as just Hey, it came before the chorus, let's call it a pre-chorus. Or it came right after the chorus, let's call it a post-chorus. You can make stuff up if you need to. But what you'll find here is that this song is a very simple form. We have a verse chorus, we have another verse chorus, we have a bridge, and then we have another chorus. This is the way most pop songs go. As a matter of fact, we can call this form A, B, A. Because we've got that verse chorus section, that's like the A section of the song, and then that happens again. So we do A twice. Then we've got the bridge and the jam, which is kind of a guitar solo, sort of. In a lot of songs, it'll be a guitar solo. But the bridge, that's something different, the B section. That's like the climax of the movie. That's like the new thing we go to that makes it feel different and takes us somewhere, and then we go back to A, which in this case is just the chorus. So another way we could lay this out, we could just call this verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. That's another way of referring to this form with a little bit more detail. Yes, I'm leaving out the pre-choruses, but that's okay. We could consider the pre-chorus as part of the chorus or part of the verse. Basically, the gist of this is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And so whenever you're listening to a song and you're trying to figure out the basic roadmap, the basic sequence, don't overcomplicate it. If you can't figure out what a section is called, just let it be lumped in with a verse or a chorus. Know that most likely, if this is a pop song, you're going to end up with a form that's somewhat like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Let that be your starting point. As a matter of fact, you could go ahead and have that written out. On a separate piece of paper, write this out, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And then just let that be your reference point. So as you're listening, you can think, okay, are we in a verse? Okay, we're now in a chorus. Cool, this actually fits. Oh, we went somewhere else right there. Okay, let's call that a chorus tag. Or hey, there's that weird thing that happened right after the bridge. Let's just call that a breakdown. You can make up names if you need to, but most likely it's going to follow a form a lot like this. And when you know the common forms and you know what to expect, this whole thing gets a lot easier, even if you're playing a song you don't know. When you know roughly what form to expect, it does make this much easier because you can be confident in having a pretty good guess of what's coming next. But hey, if you're learning a new song and you get this written down, you know that, hey, we've got an intro. Cool, we've got a verse, we've got a pre-chorus, we've got a chorus. We know when we're going to the bridge. The bridge happens after the second chorus. Okay, then we do the chorus 3 times. That is so reassuring and such a huge confidence boost, and this is not difficult to do. And so I want you to do this with Rock With You. You can copy what I did here, but I want you to also do it and then test it out with any other favorite songs. All right, moving on to step 2. So what is the most challenging thing that we run into as a drummer when talking about arrangement and roadmap in a song? Where is it we get tripped up? Let's say we know the basic groove, we're playing along, we know the roadmap. Where do the trouble spots happen? The transitions, right? The points where maybe we should play a fill, maybe we shouldn't play a fill. When are the transitions? Well, step 2, know exactly when the transitions are so that you can confidently play fills. In other words, know the section lengths. If you know how long each of these sections are, you know what to expect, you know when the next section is coming, and so you know when that moment is that you need to transition the band, whether it means playing a fill or not playing a fill. Now, what tends to happen in the heat of the moment, we lose count and we second guess ourselves and we start feeling lost because, oh no, are we on bar 3 or wait, are we on bar 7? I've lost track, it's all over, it's hopeless. And then you panic. Trust me, I've been there. But here's the deal. If you carefully count when you're writing your chart, you can then learn to feel the 4, 8, or 16 bar sections. So let's flip the page over here. Now we've written in the section lengths here. And look at how pretty much all of these, with a couple of exceptions, all of these sections are like multiples of 4 or multiples of 8. We've got a 4 bar pre-chorus that happens a couple times. You see where those are. We've got so here's the pre-choruses. We've got the 4 bar pre-choruses. And then we've got 8 bar choruses, so we know that, hey, each chorus is 8 bars. That's encouraging, right? Every chorus is the same length. Once you get the feel for a chorus, you know what to expect the rest of the song. The 2 verses are both 12 bars. Now, if we combine the verse with the pre-chorus, what's 12 plus 4? That's 16. So the verse and the pre-chorus, that's a big 16 bar section that leads us into an 8 bar chorus. And here's the cool thing. Because these are multiples of 4, 8, 16, etc., they feel very predictable. We feel multiples of 4 as square and complete, and so we don't have to count them. So here's the magic. When you write these numbers on your chart and you write a 4 or a 12 or an 8, you then, the more you listen to the song, the more you intentionally count and then the more you play, the more you learn to feel these passages of time so that you don't have to think so much. And that's what's really cool. So then you can feel, okay, this jam is 8 plus 8, so a 16 bar section. I know how that's going to feel, so I don't need to count. And you'll find that in 95%, maybe even 99% of pop songs, you're not having to count because it's 4, 8, 16 bar sections. And so you don't have to sweat it. When you've got these numbers written in, that is your ultimate safety net. You know what's coming next, and you know when it's coming. Now, the weird little exception here in this song, right up here at the top, we've got this 1 right before the 8. That is just because of the intro fill. The song starts off with a boom, and so I went ahead and notated that here in the section link just with a 1. We have a 1 bar fill, and then we go into an 8 bar groove. But we're not worrying about those nitty gritty details here. We're just talking high level stuff, getting the gist of this. All right, so moving on to step 3. What is the big missing element at this point? We know what comes next and when it comes. So we've got the big roadmap, the big picture of the song. These are super important things, but what's the obvious missing piece of the puzzle here? What are we playing? What is the groove? What are we actually playing on the drums? So if you're in a pinch, you really can fake your way through the song by knowing this one thing, which is the core groove. If you know the core groove, the core feel, the vibe, the style, what is the main essence of the drum part of this song, whatever the song is, if you know that one thing, you can then fake your way through the rest of the song. So in this case, with Rock With You, here's what I wrote in here on this simple chart. The basic groove of the song is just this right here. And if we know that basic groove, we can fake our way through the rest of the song. Yes, there are variations, but we don't need to sweat it. In a pinch, we can fake our way through it. Now, the pushback here with a lot of students is, wait, I don't know notation. What do I do here? What if I don't know the notation? I can't quickly write stuff out. Well, either learn notation, because it's not hard, it's not that difficult, or write down something with words that will remind you of the groove. And that's kind of what I did a little bit of here. So I wrote down the groove here in notation. But it's basically a money beat with this little extra 16th note push there before beat 3. But hey, if we're talking super simple and if you're a beginner, just write money beat. Money beat is just 8th notes with the right hand, kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4. Literally, money beat. You can play this song totally fine, hold down the fort, and drive the band just with a money beat. So you could write down money beat, draw an arrow. Okay, that is our core groove. And then there are a couple timekeeping variations, like when we go to the pre-chorus, we're keeping time just on the ands versus playing 8th notes. When we get to the chorus, we're doing alternating 16ths. When we get to the bridge, we're loosening up the hi-hat, and so it's kind of a looser kind of hi-hat feel, and we're emphasizing the and. So yeah, there's subtlety like that, but hey, if you're in a bind and you're having to learn this song fast and you want to just get the high-level basics down, you don't need to worry about the rest of that. You can feel your way through it, and as long as you keep that money beat going, and then you know where you're at in the song, you're good. So the kind of thing I want you asking yourself when approaching a song, let's say it's not Rock With You, it's some other song out there, some pop song you're going to play on a gig. Ask yourself, is this song a 4 on the floor feel? Is it a doom, 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 or like a doom, 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 where it's like a 4 on the floor kick? Or is it like a tom groove? Is it a hi-hat 16th groove, or is it like a more chill groove on the ride? Like, what is the main feel, the main vibe of the song? What is the core essence of the song? If you can put that into a couple of words like money beat, chill ride groove, jungle tom groove, snare cadence groove, a lot of times just a couple of words are all you need to bring to mind, oh yeah, that kind of feel. Okay, cool, I'll play that sort of feel, and it's going to be appropriate for the song. Or train beat, train beat, or country ballad, you know, whatever you've got to write down, whatever makes sense to you, even if you don't know notation, that's okay. Because if you write down a couple things that will recall to memory that kind of part, then you're going to be good to go. Now, another element that I actually wasn't planning on talking about, but it's definitely worth mentioning, tempo. It's always good to write the tempo on your chart. That way, let's say the band suddenly asks you to count the song off, and you're like, oh, how does this song go? I don't remember. Okay, let's hope I'm right. And then you realize you've counted off at the total wrong tempo. Trust me, I've been there. If you have the tempo on here, you can at least have your metronome ready to go, or if you're using like an iPad charts app like Fourscore, you can have a visual metronome on the screen. Either way, you can see that number. Okay, 114. Let's get 114 going. Okay, that's 114. Now I can confidently count off even though I don't remember the song. That's powerful. And so that's definitely something to put on there. Clock the tempo of the song with your metronome, figure out what it is, and write that on your chart also. So if this is what your final chart looks like, that is totally fine. This is all you need to make this work. And by the way, one other little detail here. So I chose to write the groove down right here. Really, we could put it right here. So we could write the groove out right here. We could say fill, like intro fill, and then groove. Like whatever you got to write down, just to remind yourself that, okay, we have the 1-bar fill, and then we've got the groove. The groove doesn't start in the verse. It actually starts there in the 8-bar intro. So just wanted to hit that detail in case you're new to the song. Just want to make sure you caught that. So give this a try. This is going to give you so much more confidence on a gig. You're going to be able to quickly get a song on paper, where visually you see what's going on. You're going to feel so much more confident. You're going to feel so much more prepared. And then you can continue building onto this and adding onto this as you get better at this method. Download the guide I told you about, 5 steps to learning any pop song in under an hour, and you'll learn even more ways to approach this, even more details, kind of like my color coding. So I've got a color coding method over here. See how the bridge is orange, everything else is yellow? I've also got blue that I'll use a lot, green, red. I talk all about the color coding method in this free e-guide too. So go check it out. It's going to give you even more detail and next steps so that you can perfect your song learning method and be able to sit there and learn a song without even touching your drum set. And that is a powerful skill if you're starting to play at church, you're starting to play with a cover band. You've got to be able to learn songs quickly, and that is going to help you do it. So August 2009, how did that church service go? Well, what I ended up doing that Saturday night was basically write out something just like this. I wrote out, okay, here's an intro, we've got a verse, we've got a chorus. I don't even remember if I wrote section lengths or not, because I don't know if I was very good at counting yet. I was following the melody, and that's a valid point too, that even if you don't write in the section lengths, but if you're listening to the melody, you hear when a song section ends. You feel when the chorus is coming. And you can follow that simple rule of play a fill when the vocalist stops singing. When they finish a phrase, okay, you could play a fill there. Okay, let's go into the next section. And so you feel the progression of the song, and with the cheat sheet of, okay, verse, chorus, and then we go to the bridge, you can confidently know what's coming next. And so that's basically what I did, and I was terrible at notation. I didn't know how to get a groove on paper fast, and so I just wrote down stuff like closed hi-hat groove, ride groove, syncopated groove, simple groove, like silly stuff like that, but that's what I did for years. When I was playing in high school, every Sunday, that's the kind of stuff I would write on my little shorthand charts. And I'd listen to the song a whole bunch, get the song internalized, and I would practice it, but this served as such a great, helpful cheat sheet. So tell me in the comments, what is your favorite method for learning a song? If you've tried any methods for learning a song by ear, what has worked for you? Are you doing any of the things I've talked about today? Have you taken some of my methods and run with them? What works for you? I'd love for you to share it. We would all love to hear about it because I want you to be able to encourage and help out other people here watching the video too. But hey, thanks for watching. I hope this has been super helpful to you. I want you to be able to confidently go into playing situations. I want you to be able to serve at your church with confidence, knowing I can be a good drummer, I can learn the songs. I want you to have fun jamming with friends, playing with cover bands, and so go and do it. Know that you can do it. I'll see you on the next lesson. Stay non-glamorous.